Hello. Uh, Trans Day of Visibility appears to have come around once again. Um, I'm sure the time gets shorter between doing these videos. Um, but this year I want to kind of think about something that's a little bit, well, it's within bounds. I was listening to a programme on my local radio station this afternoon uh, because I'm old. I still listen to radio. Uh, but the lady talking was talking about how children these days, because of the society we live in and the things we see in the media, um, they're frightened. They're frightened of the society that they live in. They're frightened of things that haven't happened to them in case they happen to them. And that kind of made me think, first of all, how much our media gives us what it wants us to know. The propaganda it likes to feed us, the things that it wants us to know. And so when you see things on the telly, when you hear things on the radio, when you see things on the internet, how some of it is made up, some of it's perfectly true, but how much do kids need to see or know? And again, there's lots of different conversations to be had around this, but our children are frightened, and it's because of the things that they see, they hear, or they're told. And it's a very similar thing with trans people at the moment. This has been such a difficult 12 to 18 months. It's probably going to get worse. We're in an election year. We are going to be trans, when I say we, trans people, non-binary folk, anybody who doesn't fit the gender binary or the norm, is likely to potentially come under scrutiny, be questioned, quizzed, and I think the main reason is that we're being used as a punch bag for the wrong reasons. I always say to people, if something frivolous takes the news for too long, or something that's not overly important takes the news for that long, look and see what is being hidden on page 6, for example. What's further down the web page? What is further down out of sight? So you have to go looking for it, because those are the stories being hidden. And so it's like a magic trick or an illusion trick. The magician wants you looking over here. While you're looking over here, what's going on over here? And to an extent, we're being used for that purpose. And we are generally people, human beings, just like everyone else. I seem to say this year on year. Nothing's changed. I haven't grown two heads. I'm, as far as I'm aware, still polite, still kind, trying to be. Still trying to do everything I can to help others. Just like many other people do in many other walks of life. And so in that respect, we're just being used as the illusionary. Look over here, see what's going on here. And reality is something's going on over here. So while you're looking at us, something's going on that you're not even paying attention to. And then when it all comes to light, it'll be like, oh well, you were too busy looking somewhere else. And going back to the children thing, that's a bad thing that children are frightened. Why are children frightened? They shouldn't be. They should be allowed to be having their childhoods, playing games, playing computer games, learning, trying to be happy. Which makes me think, how is it that we as a society are at the point where children are frightened. Many trans people are frightened. People are frightened for many things at the moment, and the news does not help make people feel any better. And it doesn't matter what race you are, what religion you are, what age you are. There's so many things going on in the world right now that are not great. And it can feel like there's very little that we can do to affect change. But I think if we start with ourselves, our local communities, our family, our friends, even if we, as the phrase is oft said, be kind, which is something that most of the major religions tend to suggest. They're not out there suggesting that we go and fight each other, but that's what we're doing. And why is it that we have to even do that? Because we're all humans. Yeah, we're all different. We're all beautifully different. We have our own amazing uniqueness, our own beautiful souls, beautiful life skills that we are learning with each other. And be kind just seems to be the tip of the iceberg. Why can't we help each other? Why can't we take some time each day to have a cup of coffee, cup of tea with somebody and just say, hey, how you doing? How's life? We might not be able to go any further than that, but sometimes having a chat with somebody can make all the difference. Sometimes being able to know who you can pass somebody on to get help can make a difference. And the more we try and help each other at a basic level, just with kindness, just check on your neighbour, check on your elderly neighbour, how they're doing. You know, people are so lonely these days and isolated. These are things that are not just isolated to the trans community. We are being used, as I've said, as a bit of a punch bag. We're the same and different, just like everybody else. We've got the same hopes, we've got the same fears, we've got the same dreams. You know, I've probably got more in common with you watching this video than you actually realise. You know, I might like the same foods, I might like the same football team, although, you know, many people would say I suffer for my football team, and I do because I love them. But there's so many things I've probably got in common with you, and the differences just probably wouldn't be even noticeable. It's the differences that make us unique. It's the similarities that bond us together. And so what I'm asking for this Trans Day of Visibility is that whether you are trans, cisgendered, non-binary, gender non-conforming, whatever you are, whoever you are, let's be kind. Let's have a cup of coffee, maybe a piece of cake, maybe an Easter egg, depending on the day. Let's just find out what our similarities and our differences are and start at a basic level, get to know a trans person, and we won't be frightened. You don't need to be frightened of us. We're not spiders. I'm not frightened of spiders. I love spiders. But just let's take some time to get to know each other. Let's see where our similarities are. And let's try to start at a basic level. Forget the media. They need us more than we need them. And let's make an effort to try and get to know people. And hopefully we can see, regardless of, as I've said, regardless of race, religion, let's find the similarities to start with. And let's celebrate the similarities just as much as we can celebrate the differences. We're all amazing, beautiful individuals, and we all have something to offer. We all do. Whether you think you do or you don't, you do. You're amazing, you're beautiful, you have so much to offer this world, whether it's in your small space, whether it's your family space, whether it is wider than that. Be you, be amazing, and let's have a great day and move forward because we can and because we deserve to. And let's celebrate. Have a great time. Be visible if you can. I'm visible for those who currently can't. If you can't, don't worry, because one day you may be able to. And even if you can't, that's fine. You be you and be amazing.